Now, before we get into the discussion of this game, it is very important to note that this is not a global version release, and even though it's not been released in its entirety yet, we are currently analyzing the current state of the game and its marketing that has been done for it. Wanderer's Eternal Worlds in its current state is just a very poorly designed dungeon crawler. This is the game's second test, which if you're familiar with the first, covered a rather rough and unfinished in-development open world section, and it definitely does disappoint in terms of what I would consider to be true to the trailer marketing. Despite the fact that they're claiming that this is a global launch, the only server from which you can actually choose from is located in Asia, and a significant number of features are not even included in this version. You are unable to play the game properly because there are a great number of bugs and other problems like missing buttons that make getting through the tutorials impossible. The balance in this game is absolutely frustrating. No matter how many times you attempt to rerun a stage, it just doesn't work well, due to the many issues like monsters teleporting right next to you as soon as you spawn in, alongside having a slight delay on your controls, making it almost impossible to dodge and get away. Even if you did manage to dodge, some enemies like the feline enemy will just teleport to your location and kill you instantly if you're on low HP. One issue that I could not put up with is the lack of sustain in this game, making it very hard for you to actually stay alive. When I first set my eyes on this game, I couldn't help but notice that the visuals reminded me a lot of Maplestory 2. At first I found it pretty enticing to enter into this virtual world, where you could choose from a wide variety of characters, each of which has their own sets of disadvantages and advantages. Unfortunately, from what I could see is that a lot of these characters, especially the good ones, are locked behind paywalls. And this is where I found this to be a very big problem. Since these characters are extremely strong, it just seems like you're paying to win the game by playing a character like Scarlet, a sharpshooter who has perma knockbacks and a lot of distance, unlike all the other ranged characters. Add on the fact that this game has very poor controls, and the AI for the characters, at least for the mobile version, automatically targets anything nearby, including structures, makes you waste your ultimate or many of your other abilities all of the time. Now, this really got under my skin because I felt very frustrated as I continued to push forward, trying to see if this game ever did open up to an open world state. I'll say that the music was very catchy and the gameplay was somewhat fun, but I was unable to find any substantial gameplay here that showcased anything that was in the trailer. In fact, this is some of the most blatantly misleading content that I've seen in a while when it comes to comparing to the marketing. The only things that you can actually do in this game are log in, participate in some daily events, which are primarily comprised of poorly optimized player versus player where you can't even see anyone or respond effectively due to the connection, and then run into a dungeon where you start from level 1 and level up by choosing a different path of which you can go down and build your character. When you win or die, you're supposed to get currency and a special chest, which can be opened with a special key that can only be obtained once daily. However, I found that I was missing currency and also missing a key that I purchased with the hard-earned currency that I earned, which just added to the very frustrating gameplay overall. You can find more by looking at a lot of the ads in the game, which will reward you with more keys. Players had hoped that this game would be as beautiful as it was depicted in its opening trailer, have an open world, and be very fun and engaging to play. But as of right now, it just feels poorly designed with a lot of misleading content on purpose, like with the AI voiced character, and not the longevity of the game as a whole.